You are welcome to Cupboard Consult, a YouTube channel that is committed in bringing you exciting education around catfish production. What we do basically in Cupboard Consult is to teach people, our online audience, that is both new and existing farmers, on the best practices on how to raise fish from fingerlings or juveniles to table size, or how to produce fish that is catfish breeding. We also do fish processing, we also do feed production, and general pond construction and management. So if this is your first time of tuning into our channel and you want to be part of what we do in Cupboard Consult, why not hit on the subscription button and turn on the notification bell so that we'll keep updating you on subsequent education around catfish. Today we'll be talking about one of the exciting topics as touching catfish production. I mean catfish breeding. You will not want to miss any part of this video. So stay glued to your phone, stay glued to your computers, stay glued to every devices you are watching from, and pick up your pen and jotters because you'll be going out with value. So this afternoon I'll be talking about some of the managements you need to pay attention to when it comes to catfish production. Okay, for us in Cupboard Fish Farm, because we basically for now what we do is that we do production, we do breeding, and the first thing we do every morning is to check around. Once we enter actually knowing that we are people that pay attention on biosecurity, after ensuring that our hands are washed with saline solution and soap. This is so that as we enter the hatchery, we might be tempted to pick things from the trough, the culture media, or inside our pond. We might see dead fish and we want to remove it immediately. But because we have done this, it checkmates every bacteria, every pathogen away from our farm. So as a hatcher, there are things you must pay attention in order to be successful in catfish breeding. And I'll be talking about quite a number of them that we have seen working for us and giving us this massive result we are presently experiencing. This small hatchery, at least it can give us, in every production we have, we are sure of getting about 25,000 and above. So there are things that we do to ensure this number of fingerlings and juveniles at the end of the day. You find out that so many hatchers will say, oh, I did my breeding, they dropped about 90% hatch, but before 1 week into the management, all of those hatchling and fries are gone. Yes, it's one thing to hatch successfully, to have 90%, 95%, even some people will brag and say they have 100% hatchability. I don't argue about that. But the emphasis for this video is to teach you management. Because if you know how to hatch and you don't know how to manage, is work done zero. So the first thing we do when we come into our hatchery is to go around. We ensure that there are no bubbles on the water. Because the presence of bubbles in the water signifies that there is low oxygen already. And we also look at the physical appearance of our water in terms of color. We all know that good water is colorless. So once your water becomes cloudy or becomes brownish, it's a sign that the water needs to be changed. You need to put in more fresh oxygenated water into those ponds. So we ensure that our water, they are as clear as possible. And cloudy water, signifying the color brown, is that there are many debris in your culture system. That is your pond. It means that there are uneaten feeds. And if care is not taken, if prompt action is not being carried out, it can lead to massive mortality. That is why you will discover that the number will begin to decline every day. So there are physical properties of the water we check, just the properties I've mentioned. And there are also chemical properties of the water we check. Because you see, catfish live their entire life, fish, aquatic, live their entire life in water. It means that we must pay keen attention to the chemical and the physical properties of the water. So the next thing you need to check is the pH. the pH of your water must be optimal, and we have the standard range for a successful fry management, which ranges from 6.5 to 8.5 in pH. We also have ammonia. Now, ammonia is very, very important that every hatcher pay attention to the ammonia build-up in your culture system. And culture system, I mean pond, where you raise those fries from. So if ammonia is building up, it will lead to high mortality. Ammonia build-up can wipe the entire fry a day. A day. It can wipe it out. It is as serious as that. Because ammonia is a gas. You don't see ammonia with your eyes. You don't even smell ammonia. But you ensure that the level of ammonia that is in your pond is less than 0.2. Once it's less than 0.2, you are already on a successful management. You are already practicing a successful management, and high number of fries will metamorphosize into fingerlings and juveniles. So how do you take care of ammonia buildup? What we do at Carbot Consult is a daily replacement of water. So we turn in our inlet. Every day we come, we remove or replace 20 to 30% of the water in our culture media. We replace it morning and evening, because you know ammonia begins to build up from the bottom of your pond. So, and your fishes are, catfish are nocturnal fishes. It means that they are bottom feeders. They love to feed from the bottoms. So they love to swim to the bottoms. So even if they are resting, they rest at the bottom at this stage, and you will not want to jeopardize their health status. That is why we do 20 to 30% daily replacement. Number next is siphoning. Siphoning cannot be overemphasized. In fact, in Carbot Fish Farm, we siphon daily. Siphoning is just like sweeping your room. You will not want to live in a dirty environment, because bacterial pathogens thrive in a dirty environment. So by siphoning is that we are trying to remove the dirt from the water. We are trying to remove the uneaten feed from the water. We are trying to also remove the dead fish from the water, because as they decay, as they decompose, bacteria will begin to culture on them and begin to multiply. So we don't want to give any room or space for the multiplications of pathogen. That is why we siphon daily. Siphoning is being done with a tube. There is a tube host. You soak in the water and you sweep it with the hose gradually, so as not to stress them. I will be doing a video basically on siphoning. So stay tuned for that video. In that video, we'll show you practically how we siphon. So number next is sorting. You see, catfish are omnivorous. It means that they can feed both on plant ingredient and animal ingredient. It means that if you don't sort them into grade based on their growth, based on their size, the bigger ones will be preying on the smaller ones. Because they are carnivores, they will feed on the weaker ones and the smaller ones, thereby reducing the numbers of fry you have. So you might breed, and by way of calculating your fecundity, right, you have estimated 80% hatchability. You're supposed to have maybe 100,000 fries, but at getting to fingerlings or juveniles, you're only counting 5,000. It's because largely you did not pay attention on sorting. So in Carbot Consult, we sort our fish regularly. So sorting should be done regularly. Once you begin to pay attention, you begin to observe that the growth rates in a particular pond in your fishes is not even, you sort. And we have sorting trays. or sorting basket that we have prepared for that exercise, because you will not want to spend so long sorting with scoop nets. It's tiring. So there are sorting trays that we sort with. Number next is tinning. What is tinning? Tinning is the act of reducing the numbers of fries or fingerlings you have in a particular pond. You can also term it as stocking density. There is the exact number of pond, there is the exact number of fry, fingerlings and juveniles that is required by 10,000 liters of water. In every 10,000 liters of water, there is an exact number of fry. Once you know this, you know the capacity of ponds you have in your hatchery. You'll be able to estimate. Because at fry levels, you can have a lot of them in one vat. But by 3 days or 1 week into management, you're supposed to tin. It means that you're supposed to reduce the number of your fries and separate it, break it into other ponds, just like we do here. When we hatch, basically we hatch in these 2 ponds, this black pond and this blue pond. But after hatching 24 hours into 48, 72 hours, we do our first tinning. We will reduce the number of hatchlings we have into other ponds in this hatchery, so that our numbers will not be jeopardized. Because if they are crowded in a place, the ammonia buildup will become faster, the water temperature or the water oxygen, the oxygen level of the water is being depleted within a shortest period of time. And if there is no oxygen in the water at that time, they have not yet developed their external respiratory organ, which is called the arborescent organ. And they might not be able to gasp out for external oxygen and they will die. So we do tinning. So it is advisable that you also inculcate this act called tinning. And the next is feeding. Feeding is very, 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 very key when it comes to hatchery management. It is different from grow out. The way you feed your juveniles, the way you feed your jumbos, the way you feed adult and table size is different from the way you feed your fries or fingerlings. Now, how do we feed our fries? How do we feed our swim-up fries? How do we feed our post fries? We have copens, 0.2. We start by feeding them with 0.2. And the first day we feed them, which is the 3rd day, or depending on the temperature. If the temperature is high, then we feed at the 2nd day. But we are trying to introduce them into external feeding. So we don't just spread, no. Because this is a strange material now. You are trying to teach them how to pick external feed. So you drop it gradually. Just the way you just drop a pinch of salt in your soup. So you drop it round within the culture media so that they will pick it. And this is done maybe 5 times and above. At that stage of fry, you feed them 5 times and above daily. In Cabot Fish Farm, we have a feeding regime. So we feed at an interval of 4 hours. So every 4 hours we feed. We drop a pinch all around the culture media. So this is how you bring them up. Because if the feed you give them is over, they will not eat it. And it will pollute the environment. It becomes toxic for them. So lastly, I'll be speaking about flow-through. This is another important aspect when it comes to management in catfish breeding. Flow-through system. What is flow-through? Flow-through system is when you have your culture media and your fry in your culture media and you allow continuous flowing in and out of water. This is what we call flow-through system. And what is the importance of this system? A flow-through system has majorly 2 importance. Number one is to ensure that the oxygen level of the water is not depleted, because we require about 5 milligrams per liter of oxygen in this water 24/7. So one way to ensure this is achievable or this becomes possible is by flow through. Another way is recirculating, but our system in Cabot Fish Farm is a flow through system. So as new water continues to drop, it mixes with the atmospheric oxygen before coming into the culture system, thereby increasing the level of oxygen present in this water. And the outlets ensure that there is no ammonia buildup, because it takes out the water from the bottom, thereby ensuring that there is fresh water, there is fresh oxygen, high level of oxygen at the bottom of your pond. The number two importance of flow through is that it breaks the surface tension of your water, because as water drops, it breaks the surface tension. So the surface tension of your water is not sealed, because the flow through continuously break the surface tension, thereby mixing up with the atmospheric oxygen and increasing the level of oxygen you have in your pond. So these are some of the key management practices we don't joke with in Cabot Fish Farm. That is why we have the numbers we have. You also can achieve this. That is why this education is coming at this time. If you have found value in this video, why not go ahead and hit that subscription button. Turn on the notification bell, because we are dedicated in bringing new topics around catfish farming.